the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars Wrestling Show. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. To my right is Scholar Tarek.
Hello, everyone. It's now that time of year again when it's Raw versus Smackdown Live for bragging right. Survivor Series.
Nice save.
Not really. Kind of, you know that was intentional.
Yes, I do.
But seriously, though, Survivor Series has now become bragging rights.
At this point, yes. But until we get there, we cannot continue the rest of this show without going over what is probably the most surprisingly good pay-per-view I think we'll probably see all year at WWE. I am, of course, talking about WWE TLC 2017. Wow.
I really have to say, is it really because of those changes they had to do for these matches? Or was it, in all, good wrestling?
Yeah, I don't know.
Kind of a mixture of both, really.
I think correct me if I'm wrong here, but I don't think I've ever seen a show go from extremely mediocre to the easily a contender for greatest WWE pay-per-view of the year in a span of what?
3 days?
48 hours, even? This show, we're definitely going to be talking about this at the year end.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're not going to waste any more time. Let's just get right into it. WWE TLC 2017, starting with the pre-show where Sasha Banks defeated Alicia Fox.
Didn't care. It was good wrestling. I honestly didn't care less about this match. I don't care about Sasha, and I don't care about Alicia. But like I said, it was generally some good wrestling. Storyline made absolutely no sense. It was just time filler. Hell, it was originally supposed to be Nia Jax versus Sasha Banks, but Nia Jax is gone in Timbuktu. And once again, we talked about it last week. It was all on account of Sasha having a shirt and Alicia does not. We've seen dumber reasons for a few, but this one was just as dumb. And I honestly don't care at all about this at all.
Yeah,
nothing about it.
It did its job. Personally, I did not get a chance to, in all disclosure, see this match. I was out late. Unfortunately, I had previous plans. I did not get to watch this show until the next day, and even here, I really regretted it. But even so, just again, the results of this match did not shock me in the slightest. It's a pre-show match. Sasha Banks is the face and the bigger name right now, so there's not much else to say as far as I'm concerned.
Perfect example of time filler.
Yeah, it's the opening shot. It's the pre-show. It's something to get people ready for the actual thing. I'm gonna say it. It was the appetizer.
You have to. It's kind of our thing now to talk about the pre-show and having it be an appetizer.
Yes, and Sasha Banks is tasty. Moving on to the actual show.
The one thing I have to say is people are saying, "Oh, this should have been just a 3-minute squash match. This match shouldn't have had as."
I did hear that too. Yes.
It shouldn't have been as long as it actually turned out to be. What is it? 9.5 minutes it took this match. And people are saying, "Oh, Emma took too much time. She did too much damage to Asuka." It's like, well, we're also having over 3-hour show, so it's really they just needed more time to fill. It's kind of the same situation with the pre-show, except when it comes to Asuka, I actually do care about her, but at least we got a pretty decent match. Nothing that blows you out of the water. Good main roster debut, and that's it.
Yeah,
I've
heard that same criticism, and honestly, I'm with you. I could not disagree with it more. Well, number one, just because that Asuka, this is what our matches always are. They're always back and forth. They're always competitive. Even though Asuka wins a lot, she very rarely is portrayed as the streak is compared to Goldberg, but her wrestling style is not, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the way it always was.
People are like, "Oh, she is the Goldberg of the women's division. She should be dominating like that."
Nah. No. if they did send her up like that, just like Goldberg, they'd be setting her up for failure down the line. This is what they should have been doing with someone like Goldberg from the get-go. Competitive back-and-forth matches where it seems like the guy can win, but the one guy is just way too good. Goldberg is just too good. Asuka's too good. And then beating her can be done, but it's going to be really tough, and it's going to take the right girl at the right time. That's the story that's being told here. And Emma looked tough coming out of it. Asuka looked like a badass. Of course, she had to win. She's the newbie. But even so, it still treats everyone involved like a big deal. And, hey, I am a wrestling fan. I got some good wrestling out of this. This is what I paid to see.
I wouldn't say both of them. It was meant for both of them to look like a big deal.
Well, let's put it this way. Emma looked like a bigger deal than she has been in the past.
Emma did her part.
Yes. She looked like an appropriate dance partner for Asuka. She did what she needed to do, and she didn't look like a complete jobber. So, that's what I meant by that. Does that make sense?
It does.
Am I making sense, or am I just babbling?
No. You're making sense.
Give it 20 minutes. We'll see where
I'm sure some people will think, oh, you guys are just babbling. You're just going to give everyone a break. Come on. Be critical.
Everything is great.
Go ahead. Nitpick about
everyone
every single
is talented. Everything is beautiful. Okay, you want a nitpick? I'll give you a nitpick. Did Emma get new music all of a sudden, or is that old? Is that new music? Is that old music, and I just didn't notice it yet?
I honestly don't care.
Well, I noticed it. It
may have been.
It seems new because it seems like very new music, unfamiliar of Emma, and then all of a sudden the music just stops and it just goes, "Yeah!" which she actually mouths out during her entrance. And I was like, okay, that's definitely new.
Really, the only person that I noticed that has new music is Baron Corbin, and he's not even on this show. I just noticed it when I watched SmackDown this week, and honestly, I actually kind of like it.
Yeah,
but that's just sidetracking. Let's get back on this one.
We'll touch on Baron Corbin.
I've never noticed Emma's music, nor have I tried to notice Emma's music.
Yeah, this is one of those things where I just cannot help but notice it. It's like, okay, that's different.
It's probably different because most of the time when she shows up on a show, she's one of those people who has the entrances during commercial, and she's already in the ring. So you don't even have a chance to hear her music.
The sad part is you're probably right.
She's probably had that same music since dropping the Emelina nonsense.
That I know for a fact she didn't do. It's not that old. It definitely is not. It's relatively recent, so I don't feel so bad. But still,
I don't feel bad at all.
Emma's getting a pay-per-view match. It's just way better than she has been in a long, long time. So, good for you, Emma.
Not even just a pay-per-view match. Pay-per-view one-on-one. Normally, she's in like the woman match.
I think they actually made a pointing that out on commentary. Like, this is actually her first singles pay-per-view match.
Good for her.
Someone pointed it out, and I'm just like, oh, wow. I kind of feel really bad for Emma now, but now she's back on she's actually got the match, so yay.
She's got some form of momentum.
Yeah, it's just the match itself was good, but that's the kind of fact that gives me sort of a warm, fuzzy feeling inside.
You sure that's not just Emma herself with her gorgeous looks?
No, I'm an Asuka guy, and you know that.
I know.
But anyway, that's a whole nother thing. Wow. Did we get off topic there?
No, we didn't. We're talking about Asuka and Emmett. How was that?
Emmett. Yeah, we're talking about Asuka and Emmett.
We're talking about Asuka and Emma. How is that sidetracking?
Well, number one, we're getting caught up in their beauty, and number two, you know her name is Emmett now forever in my mind, right?
That's probably, like, if she ever, becomes a man, it's just, her name is Emmett.
And then when she finally gets a WrestleMania match, we can be like, Emmett, you're the greatest!
Okay, now we're sidetracking. Okay,
I'm hungry. All right, now we're officially sidetracked.
Now because you said that, now I got what you meant. Want to wrestle? I bet I make you squeal like a piggy.
The gimmick writes itself, people. The gimmick writes itself.
That was Festus. No, The meme I made a few years ago, Emmett grew up to be Ryback with Feed Me More. I'm hungry. 35 years later, feed me more.
And yet we still have not gotten Ryback.
Now we're sidetracking.
Now we're talking about Ryback now. Wow. Always on the Scholars of Wrestling show, kids. Anyway, moving on. We got straight from 205 Live, we've got the team of Cedric Alexander and Rich Swann defeating the team of Gentleman Jack Gallagher and the Brian Kendrick.
I'm going to say it was very good wrestling from these guys. The 205 Live guys don't fail when it comes to putting on good wrestling matches. The only disappointing thing is who won. Not just because this was the only match we technically got wrong, minus Brian, because he actually, minus the Elias Jordan match, he got a perfect score. Good for you, Brian.
Claps for Brian.
Claps for Brian. Okay, I'm not just saying it because we got this match wrong. We talked about it last week. The reason why we chose Brian Kendrick and Jack Gallagher to win the match is because they're the main focus of the story. I would assume it would be Jack Gallagher getting the victory here. But it's once again them showing that they're not really putting that much investment on the lower card of the 205 Live crowd, 205 Live roster. At least that's how I'm feeling about it. I don't know how you feel, but it's just more disappointing, but it was still a very good, when it comes to the wrestling, it was very entertaining.
Yeah, I mean, these guys were definitely putting on a clinic with each other. It was definitely a fun time. So I really can't fault it for the ending that much, even though I lost points. But in all seriousness, I really didn't take this as that big of a step of incompetency on their part. It seems to me like it could have gone either way. Even during the prediction show, I was just following my heart because I like Jack Gallagher. But then again, if there's a feud brewing here, this definitely does not feel like the end of it by any stretch of the imagination. This can still go on. At least, again, Gallagher.
Everyone messes up that at least once.
Yes. Gallagher still has his gimmick to fall back on. He's straight Raw gimmick. Cedric Alexander, wrestling machine. Rich Swann, combination of both. Kendrick's Kendrick. He's the man with a plan. Everyone's going to be great.
Speaking of man with a plan, did Jack Gallagher debut new theme music, or did he have that on 205 Live?
I do not watch 205 Live consistently, I'm ashamed to say, but I do know, like Emma, that is at least relatively new. I actually really like it.
I like it too. It kind of reminds me of William Regal.
I called it months ago. With his technical ability and his unique charisma, this guy is absolutely the next William Regal.
I want to see a little backstage bit between the two.
It's got to happen eventually.
I know Regal is still the GM missioner of Commissioner of NXT, but I would love to just see one little backstage interaction between Regal and Gallagher, and then all of a sudden Tajiri shows up just because
Tajiri, and everybody loves Tajiri.
Everybody loves William Regal and Tajiri.
Those guys are
especially
great.
Together.
Yes, even so, I'm just glad. I'm just going to go on record and say right now that I was really glad to see Tajiri have one more little run again.
Me too.
Even with 205 Live and the Cruiserweight Classic, that was fun.
Mm-hmm.
But before we move on, I do have one other observation to make.
Mm-hmm.
Last week, I believe we were talking about Jack Gallagher's wrestling attire.
Yes.
One point or advantage rather to Jack Gallagher's wrestling attire that I didn't even notice this until just this show, because of things like the button-down shirt and the tie and the vest. While he's wrestling, it's because of the way it's put together.